Howdy folks, Grok the DuckFarmer here, and I'm on the FTOG All the Mods 8 server, hanging up here above the Nether. Yes, and this is one of the reasons why I love the night vision is I can see a lot farther instead it would get really, really dark. And here's what I've been doing. I've been cruising for Vibranium ore. It's one of the three, Aldomadium, Vibranium, and Unobtainium. And Aldomadium you find in the deep dark in the overworld. You can also find the Vibranium in the Nether, in the Crimson Forest and Warped Forest biomes up at the top, and Unobtainium is out in the End Highlands. Well, if we take a look at this Warped Forest, Crimson Forest from Y100 to 123, so up on the roof, and that's why I'm up here, and it says it's player mineable only, not quarryable. And so I said, fine. What I'll do is I'll set up my builder that I had there in the mining dimension, and that's the best place to find your Aldomadium. Yes, you can find it in the deep dark, and you're going to have to. You're going to have to find at least one ingot there, or not. You're going to have to find at least one ore there that hopefully you can fortune. But if not, if you get just the one, make the builder, make the teleport pad, go to the mining dimension, and there I mined out a 6-chunk area, and I found 30 Aldomadium ores in there, and so that's an average for that very small area of 5 per chunk. Not bad. I got plenty enough. That's a good thing. But Vibranium is here in the Nether. So one of the tools worth making is this, the travel staff, and it's super cheap. Ender pearls and iron, because you set this up. Let me go ahead and can I shift it? The dimension, I've set this up as 9 chunks that it's going through and doing, and it's 26 tall, and it's doing a 15 an offset of -15. -14 also works, but I'm doing -15. That mines all the way down to 99. And so I went ahead and did that. Yes, it is off. And so if I just run over a little bit over here, if you crouch and then right click, nope, still obstructed, go a little bit further in. There we go. And you can see I have mined out almost all of this 9x9 chunk area, and there is 0 Vibranium visible. I even have a charm of Vibranium site, which I'll get into, but there's none visible here. There should just be random blocks. Yep, that's where I stopped it. There should be random blocks scattered all over the place. In a 9x9 chunk, which this is close to done, I think it has one more row of chunks. So instead of 81 done, just call it 70 something. I found 1 block of Vibranium in here. And I found that by myself. I looked and I saw it. Oh, you see that? There's 2 more right there. That's very strange. Let's go down. This is, well, if I F3, I'm looking at 95. Did it say that it was available at 95? No, it said 100. So what's this doing here? And this makes, oh, nope, it's visible. So here's 2 more, and that was at 93 height. Here, let's get rid of all these things. I don't need them. And you don't need you or you. All right. So, that's interesting. I have never noticed any of these below 100. Yeah, that's very strange. Anyway, I was saying I found 1 of these ores, and it was way over here at the beginning. I saw it at the bottom, and it was visible. Noticed how those 2, I didn't need the sight. The sight helped target them. Yep, it was right about here in this chunk. Hey. Get away from me, you piggy. All right, let's come over here and sit and have a nice chat. So it was over in that chunk, and it was exposed at the bottom. And that's what I've done is I've flown through. You can see I've got 6,000, whatever the fuel pack tank is, millibuckets or whatever of hydrogen units. I don't know. I've flown back and forth. As you can see, I've flown back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on the ceiling, having mined out this chunk, mined out a bunch over here, mined out a bunch over here. I've mined over 140 chunks. I'd have to count the numbers. And that 140, that was in this warped forest over here, plus another 9x9 of crimson forest here. And then I've flown all through here. Out of all of the vibranium I've found, and I'm going home, of all the vibranium I have found, and let me show you what I found. One ore block I broke so I could make this, and unfortunately my fortune came back with just one vibranium ore, and so I ran it through here and that doubled it. Oh, did I put it over here? Yes. So there's my one vibranium ore from one block. So I have found 22 blocks exposed on the underbelly of the ceiling, and much faster with the charm of vibranium site, and only two that were found inside because I had the charm, and I would not have seen them. I would have flown right by, and I flew by lots, as you saw. And this tells me this is just broken as all get out. It says it spawns Y100 to 123. We found two of them below Y100. And I didn't expect that. I would have mined lower if I knew that, but it didn't. And only two. I think it's bugged out as all get out. So, is this the only place and the only way to get to vibranium? No, you can go into the other, and there's places where you can loot that in dungeon chests in the other. That's really annoying. That's super annoying. I don't like it whatsoever. It is the opposite of fun. So, charm of vibranium, because I was talking about that. I got 2 ingots out. I took one of the ingots. Here's the recipe. Blaze, I got plenty blaze, but I needed vibranium site potions. Well, to make that, you need to take this calcinated vibranium powder with a mundane potion. And I'm used to always throwing a nether, a wart into the potion to brew it up first. That makes you awkward. And I spotted that, and so I drank them to get rid of them, and I used sugar to make a mundane, plus the calcinated vibranium powder, and I got my vibranium site. This is just vibranium powder cooked. This you need to make a pestle and a mortar and some ender powder and vibranium and ingot, and that gives you that. So the recipes are pretty simple. It's just some sort of clay around a stone. Whoops. Oh, here. R on this. Simple stuff. So that's what I made this, and it has on there unbreakable, because I went and visited Bertel and I used his an enchantment setup with 100 levels on me. I had 101, and I was able to infuse this to make it unbreakable. So that's why it's just sitting there running, and I'm going to turn it off because it doesn't matter anymore, and it's raining. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just fortune this right now, and I will see if I get enough to make seeds, because I don't want to waste any more time whatsoever with this. Let's go, nope, right there. Here, let's grab that, and let's fortune this all. I'm looking for 18 of the raw ores, because with that I can double, and that will give me 36, and 36 makes 4 blocks, and with 4 blocks I can make the stupid seed, and I'll never have to mine this again. So I'm looking for 18. I should get that because I've got 23 here, and hopefully much more. Yeah, much more. 57. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually, let's sit there and make you into blocks, and that way this can process the blocks first because that's so much faster to do, because you get the 18 from each block instead of 9, because I would get 2 and yep, there they go, and I would get 2 from each of these, so it's much faster. Of course, that means this now has lots more to deal with, but that's okay. All right, that's done, and I can finish those. So I've got sufficient vibranium to make this happen. Now, that's annoying, super duper annoying. I don't like it whatsoever. I will show, because I can. Let's come over to here. Let's go to the mob farm. Let's zoom up. And I went ahead and stuck the fans and my wind generators up here, and I added a second set of 8. So there's a total of 16 wind generators up here. That's what's been powering my miner. And that's fine. I don't really see the need at this point to change that. What I did do, and that's on the dimensional cell channel 2, and that's what's powering that. But there was a third one on there, an extra one on there. That's channel 3, because what I was doing is this is making 120 RF a tick, and I pushed that into this, and that's on channel 3. If I come running over here, I got rid of the piece over here that was that funky oil, because I don't care about it for right now. Let's go down. Zip. Over here, I have phytogenic isolators, or insulators, and there's my Unobtanium seeds producing essence right there. I have the cyclical processing in place so that the seed always stays. I don't think it actually moves over to here. It just recycles the seed automatically. Think, and that's pretty fast because I've got the resonant integral component piece in here, so it's 4 times faster than normal. It does mean it's using 4 times the the power, and so that's 80, that's 80, that's 80, and that means the one below 120. I've got 2 of these heat generators with 4 each. That's 240. Well, I just blew through that right there. So, and in fact, I'm going to change this because these are making inferium, and I don't need inferium as much. Well, I need inferium as much as, hey, I've got some extra Unobtanium seeds. Oh, speaking of Unobtanium, I've generated 384 nuggets worth of Unobtanium from that one generated down there. I have ingots before, and that's still over in the metal processing plant, that I haven't added here, but I'm going to add them here. But that's 43 ingots just from that one insulator. Well, I'm going to go ahead and process these 2 other seeds down there, because this way I can get just a little bit more Unobtanium. I don't need 2 in there, thank you. Okay, there we go. So that, to me, is the fastest way. It takes power, but that's fast. And I'm only going to make those 3. I'm not going to make banks and banks and banks of them. Instead, I did do this over here, where I went ahead and made a harvest pylon down below. And I don't have that recipe here, but super cheap. It's some quartz slabs, some iron bars, a hay bale, and 3 polished blackstone. So just stuff you have to go to the Nether to get. And this right here is a row of inferium. That's a row of Unobtanium. That's a row of inferium. That's a row of Unobtanium. That's a row of inferium here. And then here's just regular wheat and a couple seeds of Unobtanium. Inferium, wheat, inferium. Why am I splitting them up that way? Because they grow faster if they're in strips. If this seed sees its companions next to it in 1 dimension or 2 dimensions, in 1 row as the same type, that's okay. But if it sees seeds of itself all around it, it slows down the growth as much as half. So that's why I'm splitting these up. And so half Unobtanium, half inferium. That will get me as fast a growth as possible. And yeah, it means I'm only got half cultivated for any 1 seed. That's okay. If I really needed to, I could, requires magical soil below. I had not noticed that. Well, these guys are doing absolutely nothing. I thought they were. Yeah, I might as well put back the wheat seeds back here because they would actually produce wheat and seeds for me. So yeah, these do absolutely nothing for me right now. Oh well. The striping is needed. I planted these mainly for the inferium, so I could get more of the insanium, the top tier that I needed. Grumble, 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 blah 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 blah. Hey, stronghold. Let's talk stronghold. For that, let me prep a few things, and we'll talk about that. So it's time to head to the end and to find all the good stuff that's there in the end. I did get a few blocks of the end stone and some forest fruit, so I could grow that and actually improve the mob spawners. But I need to go there for real and do a bunch of stuff, which means making some of these Eyes of Ender. And there they are, Eyes of Ender. And it's a good thing I've got the mob farm because I've got both Blaze and Enderman in here, so I can make as many as I want. Now, your standard practice is you make a bunch of these, maybe a dozen plus, maybe 2 or 3 dozen, because you're going to go for a long hike. Well, I decided to let math do the job for me. So what I did, Charlie, you're right there. Yes, yes, he is. He's right here saying he wants to cuddle because he's a nice boy. Anyway, so I tossed my pearl up on top of here and toss. And I saw it went out that way, and I lined up my arrow, my cursor right to the center of where it went. And then I hit F3 and I got rid of the better F3 mod. I don't like it because there in the top left, it gives me my position, but it also has where I'm facing. You know, it says 172.8, you know, so I'm almost due north. So that gives me a position and a direction. And then the next thing you want to do is go 90 degrees from where you are. And I went that way. You can't see it. Let's go map. I went to about here. And I should have gone maybe double or triple the distance, but I didn't. I only went about 100, 120 blocks. And I threw another one, and that gave me another position and direction. And with those, you can figure out via math where those two lines intersect. And I was lazy and I didn't want to actually do the math, but there is a web page, and I'll link it in the description below, where you can let it process that. And that's how I got the information. Whoop, wrong direction. I was looking west. That's where I figured out where the stronghold was. Well, sort of. If we go up here, this is about where it calculated where the stronghold was. And I threw down a waystone there. And then I started tossing my Eyes of Ender. And they took me up to here. And it was here where it actually, you tossed it and it went straight to the ground. So that's a little bit off, but still pretty good. And so from here, what I did is I went ahead and I dug straight down and broke into a large caving system, and then explored around and explored around and explored around until finally I saw a huge block of just stone brick. And I said, aha, there's the stronghold. Broke in, got the achievement of stronghold, and I worked my way through there. Let's actually go to the stronghold. And this is the Better Strongholds mod here that helped set this up. And it was quite involved. If we look at the map, if we go to layers, yeah, zoom in a little bit. That was too much of a zoom. It was quite involved, and I broke in way over here. And explored and explored, did the kind of left-hand sort of exploring, and finally spotted this one. Yay! But then I went into the end, and the dragon had already been killed. I did have an ender pearl with me, so I took a convenient portal in there and went out to here, made one of the nature compasses to find an end. I'm here in the end highlands because that's where the Unobtanium spawns, is the here. It was a long distance. But one of the things that I did do here, we zoom out a little bit, you can see I've explored a lot of this area because, frankly, Unobtainium is the easiest of all of them to find. Because here's what I did. I just jetted over here. Actually, I used the hover mode a lot, but so slow. I just came around here and I just looked at the edges of the islands. Well, let's go to hover mode. It is slow, but I came here to the corners, and Charlie's decided he's got to sit in my lap now. I came over here and I just walked around and I looked, and I found a whole bunch. Well, yes, I found a whole bunch of Unobtainium. In the hours it took for me to find all the modium, and in the way too many AFK hours it took to get the Vibranium, this was easy. This, frankly, was super easy. Oh, there's a musical mob around here. There he is. You can see the music playing on him. Anyway, so I that's what I've got. And it didn't take very long. Here, let's go home. Because, yeah, I found 31 blocks of all Unobtainium, which is fantastic. That should be more than enough for getting the 18 raw and the 36 ingots that I need from the 18. So let's vein mine this guy with Fortune 4. If I had Fortune 8, that would be even better. But I don't. Oh, I messed up. I only saw that the first one was being highlighted without actually seeing that, yes, I'm mining all 31 blocks. And so I stopped, because I'm a doofus. There we go. Oh, yeah. That's a good amount here. Let's do that. Wow, 9 exact complete blocks of them. So we're going to go ahead and process that. And now I have Unobtainium. And I've got enough of them, I don't have to explore the end anymore. And that means I can leave the Unobtainium that's out there for people to go ahead and obtain. Talking with some of the other guys on the server, saying around Y50 seems to be where they are the most. And if they weren't so easily visible on the outside, or if you find the same area of the end, you can sit there and look internally for them. I would, as soon as you find one, making the charm is an excellent idea, especially if you can borrow somebody's system to set up and get it infused. Let's go ahead and grab an ingot. There's the quest for that. And yay, I have Unobtainium. And I think if in here, yeah, time in the bottle, as much as I love time in the bottle, that's expensive. And I don't know if I'll actually use that. But what I do need is to make the block. There's the block. And then you on this. Diamond, netherite, unobtainium, aluminium, vibranium, and diamond with some elytra will give me the diamond ring. And with that and 4 more unobtainium blocks and all the modium furnaces and 2 nether stars, I can get the angel ring. You know, I think I've got enough all the modium. I might. I'm going to have to let this process and save out 4 for my seed and see if I've got 5 more afterwards. It's project chest time. Let's make 2 of these all-the-modium furnaces, or furni, and I'm going to put them right there. Zip. And then let's grab all these bits. Oh, we might as well grab all of those bits. And remember how I was saying this doesn't work? It does now. I don't know why, but it does now. So there's the diamond ring. And then we can go to this, shift click, and there's the angel ring, which makes me so happy. Let's come out here and double click. Double click. Nope, I have to put it on. Why can't I just have it? There we go. Yes. So creative flight makes me super happy. Looking, it's eating up the XP. and it just dropped a little chunk. So that's how this is kind of made less cheaty, for lack of a better word, is that it will eat XP. Now, what I can do, here, let's drop down. Let's pull this out. This, if you hit U, we can make the energetic angel ring, which will hold 3 million FE, and it'll use FE instead of XP, which I think is a better deal. Then we could also use the leadstone, and this does 2.5. But if you use this, that can make the hardened, which holds 5 million. And if you use that, that makes the reinforced, that's 8 million, and all the way up to resonant, which does 16 million FE. So that I'm kind of thinking that's the way I want to go. So that's what I'm going to build in between. I can make the Enderium block. That's not all that hard. You know, I made those to gear up the cyclical, not the cyclical process, but the seed boxes back there. Anyway, so I'm going to do that between episodes, but I'm really happy to have an angel flight, which means I can get my Unobtanium breastplate. I should get real armor. I did this just because I fished them up. Depth Strider has been very nice for the underwater, or actually, look, notice my speed. And when I hop into the water, I'm faster in the water than I am on land. So Depth Strider 3 probably would be even better than that. Anyway, so that makes me very happy. I love being able to fly, and that makes my eyes bulge out with happiness. Bulge here. Let's get a little closer. Bulge out eyes, bulge out. Anyway, I've been loving it. Creative Flight is one of those milestones in any sort of modded game, and I'm really happy when I get that. Really happy. Whee! It's not on, so it doesn't work. But I'm very happy with that. So, Vibranium, Unobtainium. I've got enough for both of those to make the seeds. I just don't have enough Insanium. So I need that to process and happen. But as soon as I do, I'll make the seeds. I'll throw them into the machines. I'll let those process. And I'll have pretty much unlimited, over time, access to those 3 metals, which is very nice. And I like it. I would much rather use those machines for those top tier than have to go through the process of making the stupid magical soil to plant them in. Nope, not going to do that. Anyway, this has been Grok the DuckFarmer here on the FTOG All the Mods 8 server, and having a blast. And there's a bunch of people online right now, but I'm just finishing the episode, so I'm not going to chat with them until I'm done. And thanks for watching. Bye. I'm going to go chat with them.